All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another PassionPod. I'm Lauren, the Director of Development here at PassionFlix.
I'm Allie. I'm the Director of Marketing and PR.
I'm Tosca. I'm the founder and CEO of PassionFlix.
Awesome. So good to see you, ladies.
Good to see you guys, too, from all different places in the United States.
Yeah, I'm back at
Again.
my house. I think you're still in Montana, T, right?
And I'm in
and you're in my office.
So we had some exciting things happen this week, obviously. We released Gabriel's Inferno Part 2, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And so far, lots of pretty great reviews, T. How do you feel it's been going?
Yeah, everyone seems to like it. That's great. Thank you. Yeah, everyone says that it's blown them away and that they really love it. And, you know, Part 2 of Gabriel's Inferno, I've said this so many times, but I'll say it again. You know, every time I'm stressed and I need a break from work, I actually turn on Part 2 of Gabriel's Inferno because that's my break from work, is watching the movie that we made. And that's just a really nice feeling to me. So
yeah,
it used to be turning on Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, Pride and Prejudice is a classic. I can attest that my mom has now watched Part 2, and she made my aunt watch Part 1 and 2, and they're both now equally obsessed and dying for Part 3. And we have a lot of fans who are dying to know when Part 3 is coming. Do you have a hint as to when that might be?
I have a hint. We haven't quite finalized the exact date, but it is going to be probably close to Thanksgiving.
Okay, copy that. Because we haven't quite finished editing the film. Like, we finished editing it, but now we're into post with all the music and sound editing and stuff.
Yeah, so basically Part 3 has more music in it than all of the other two parts.
Got it.
So it's basically the amount of music that's in Part 1 and 2 combined goes into Part 3. So when we have that much music that needs to be created and we don't want to, rush it and make it sound, not fantastic. So, and we have more songs. And so we just want to make sure that we leave room for the artists to really create something beautiful. And so that just takes time. And especially with everyone working in different parts of the world and in isolation, it's getting notes back and forth when everyone's in different places is just takes time. Just an extra day or two on either side each time you have notes. So
totally makes sense. Awesome. And then we also had a very cool thing happen on our social. Allie, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we reached 100,000 fans and followers on Instagram.
Awesome.
That was
Thank you.
Milestone. Yeah, that was huge. That was so exciting. So exciting.
It was. I woke up to your text with like yay and like balloon, like what was that, like all the confetti everywhere. Oh, okay, great.
I wanted to text it to you earlier that morning too, because I got up at like 5:30 and I held off for a little while. I was so excited. So thank you. Thank you, fans. That was awesome.
It's super cool.
Yeah. It's great. And again, can't reiterate enough how exciting this last weekend was. And with the release of Gabriel's Inferno Part 2 and everyone's enthusiasm and everyone pushing and everyone retweeting and reposting on Instagram, it just really helped. So thank you.
And on that note too, I did want to mention something that I think is really important to talk about right now after this release, and that's piracy. Unfortunately, there's been a lot. The movie has been shared a lot, as are a lot of PassionFlix films, and to the point that there's been hundreds of thousands of views on some of these. And you guys, piracy, it really hurts us. We rely on our subscribers to continue to bring you your favorite romance novels to the screen. And unfortunately, the movies, when they're shared for free, it deters people from signing up with PassionFlix. And it's stealing. It hurts us. So please don't do it. I was also kind of sad to see that some of the fan accounts, PassionFlix fan accounts, Julio and Melanie have fan accounts, SR, they're fan accounts that were posing as fan accounts, but then sharing the movie illegally. So please stop. Please stop. This hurts us. We're getting information sent to us, so if we need to take further action, we will, but please stop.
Yeah,
I second that.
Yeah, we have.
It really does. It causes us a lot of pain, and but besides being hurtful, because it is,
It really
you actually emotionally hurt us by stealing from us. It makes it impossible for us to make any other movies. So if you actually want to see any other movies, then we need you to stop stealing. We can't, movies are not free, and they cost a lot of money to make. And if you steal, we're unable to make them. It's pretty simple math. So, and it's very painful. So thank you, Ellie, for mentioning that. And hopefully, I think the people that are watching this podcast are probably the ones who are the most supportive of us and hopefully are not stealing anything. But those folks who are watching are also, we want to thank you for being the advocates out there and going and finding out where all these illegal postings are and bring them to us at info@passionflix.com. And so we're able to do takedown notices. But we spend hours every day doing takedown notices for all the illegal copies that are out there. So, but still, please send them to us. Please you find any more legal copies, just send them to us and we will take them down. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Thank you. There's so many of you doing that, so thank you.
It's awesome. Send them to info@passionflix.com and we will get them reported. I reported 12 this morning. Like, it's ridiculous. I know. Some of them were just like sections of the film, not full video postings, but that's still stealing because it takes out certain scenes that people would sign up to watch. So that's also stealing. So thank you for that, Allie. That's a good PSA. Please don't pirate our work because that's really not fair. And I see that we have our guests in the waiting room. Today joining us, we have Tommy Hobson and James Austin Kerr from Wrapped Up in You. And Tommy's also been part of Driven and A Brother's Honor as well. So it's very exciting to have them both on here. So I think I can admit them. Let me just do that real quick. There's Tommy and there's James. I'm so excited. I miss these guys so much.
I love them so much.
Hi, James. Hold on, your audio's connecting. Oh wait,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Am I in?
Yes. Hi.
Hey.
Not much. What's up with you? Oh my
God.
How
you
doing? Yay!
Hey, there he is.
Hello.
Oh, it's so awesome to have you guys join us.
It's nice to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was watching Love on the Spectrum, and then my computer freaked out. I was just being casual in the waiting room.
I need to watch that. That looks like
that looks like a good movie.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very interesting. It's a 5-part series, and my friends were telling me I should watch it, and I've cried like twice. So it's a good time. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, it's okay. I was waiting for you.
Oh, that's so awesome. So how have you guys been? How are you guys doing?
Oh, good. Weirdly, with everything that's going on, I can't complain too much. Just hanging in there as we are.
Right.
So, I'm good. The beginning of all this was rough. I think that one of my friends was like, you should call it not so much a breakdown, but a breakthrough. Like I kind of, a week before everything went to hell, I kind of was like, this doesn't feel right. This feels awful. And I'm lucky enough to be from LA. So I went to my parents' house about a week before everything got crazy. And then I stayed there for 2.5 months. Yeah. And then I left there to go to work. So that's been a nice distraction.
Awesome. What were you just?
Yeah, you just finished filming something in Arkansas, right?
I did. I was doing a movie called Ghost of the Ozarks.
Oh.
What, James?
Wait, James,
I missed what James said.
Yeah,
Oh, did he freeze?
he's freezing. James, no.
Why does he freeze on such a gorgeous shot too?
Yeah. Smirk going.
I hope it's not my Montana rural internet, but
No,
so Tommy, tell us again. So you were filming in Arkansas. You were the lead of this movie, right?
I was the lead of this movie, and it was crazy. It was really, really exciting. It kind of it's a movie that came about 4 years ago. I did a short of the movie, and then 4 years later they got a bunch of money and went to make it, and it looked like for a while like maybe it wasn't going to be me after all, and that was a very, very hard part of quarantine. Was I thought I was going to do this movie, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, and then all of a sudden it came back. And so I got to spend 6 weeks in quarantine making a movie, and I was hanging out with Tim Blake Nelson, who is just, great, such a phenomenal actor, and David Arquette and Phil Norris, who played my uncle, and just has become one of my dearest friends. And it was wild and wonderful, and like everything that I've ever sort of dreamed of doing. I got to do stunts, I got to do drama and comedy and everything. It was great. There he is.
So cool.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
You're back.
Yeah, I just got a new router and just trying to figure out the kinks. So
that's fair.
Well, there's one.
The challenges of today, dealing with internet and stuff.
How are you, James? Well, I can't operate the internet.
Anyway, that's so awesome, Tommy, that you just got that project. And James, what have you been up to recently?
What's the genre, Tommy? What was the genre?
I would say it's a thriller. So it's set in 1868. It's about a young black doctor who post Civil War moves to this mysterious town in the Ozarks at the request of his uncle to come and see this magical town that his uncle's created. And there's a lot of mystery and intrigue and anytime in 1868 you've got a black guy running a town in the South, there's gonna be some fun stuff going on.
Yeah, that's
yeah, it looked like an awesome period. It looked like an awesome period piece. And Tim Blake Nelson is from my hometown.
No way.
Really?
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, he's I mean, day one I walked on the set and we had like a 7-page scene together, and I was like, this is every actor's nightmare. Just like just shot out the cannon, let's go, and stand in front of this guy you admire and respect so much, and hope that he likes you. He gave me a shoulder grab at the end of the day and a head nod, and I was like, thank God. All right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah.
What was it like going back to set with everything going on with COVID?
It's weird. I've been acting for a very long time, and it was this very familiar space that all of a sudden was uncomfortable. And I think after being at my parents' house with them, it was my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself. We went and saw my little brother because he's doing his medical residency in Utah. So we saw him, but the 4 of us were together the whole time. And then to all of a sudden be in this bigger bubble of 34 people was strange at first, but I got used to it. It was shocking how quickly I got used to having my fever checked every morning and wearing a mask unless I was sitting in the makeup chair or a camera was rolling. It was really sad, I thought, how quickly I got used to it. But yeah, it was pretty comfortable. It just took 3 of the 6 weeks I was filming, I realized I didn't know what anyone looked like.
No.
I knew what all the actors looked like, but I didn't know what any of the crew looked like. It was wild.
So insane.
Of course. Hey, maybe when we do it, we'll just have to put like people's names on their masks or something.
Yes. Yeah, you got to get the masks that have the face on it. The mask that has like the bottom half of your face.
Yeah, like a custom face.
So weird. That's so weird. They like take your picture like this. And someone's going to have this big smile on your face or something. No.
Despite the fact that it was something you guys had to get used to, I don't think it's weird that you eventually got used to it or pretty quickly got used to it, because you guys were just kind of rolling with the punches, it sounded like, and you did what you had to do to be able to film safely. So that's cool that it wasn't distracting from the creative side. At least I hope it
No,
wasn't too distracting.
no, it was
Okay.
not. And we all made it home. No one got sick. We all made it home. Everyone's home now and safe. You know, and it was a really, really great experience. And there were a lot of tears at the end of it because it took so long to get it to the space where it could be made. And then the pandemic almost took that away. So, you know, to still push through and get it done was really magical.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. And you guys were all isolating together in Arkansas. Is that how it was working as well?
Yes. We had a hotel floor.
All different kinds of strategies on our end. Sorry?
So yeah, we had a hotel floor that was private. So even like the hotel employees couldn't get on the floor. You know, you had to clean your own room and, you know, do
That's fair.
All the perks of a hotel gone.
It's just a room now.
But that's so interesting to know.
Yeah. And you, James, what have you been up to?
Well, I just got back a week ago from Atlanta at shooting at Tyler Perry Studios.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. We just wrapped season 2 of Sisters. And what was really kind of interesting about it was we were living on the campus of his studios. There were about 213 people, cast and crew, and everything from like the catering to crafty to obviously sound and gaffing, and actors all had to live on set. And then we had to get tested every 3 days. I was there from the 2nd to the 26th. So I have got my nose scrambled so many times from the COVID test. But
it's so fun. It's a great thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But they did a really good job with it. It was kind of interesting because his studio used to be a military base and he expanded it from there. So we were in the historic part of the studio, and he housed us in what were some of the houses of like the corporals. But the homes were probably about like 100+ years old. So even though they were all new and updated, it still had that like old creepy factor to them. and we're having to be alone so much with quarantine and the tests, and every one of them was rapid, but even with the rapid test, it takes about 6 hours to get your results.
Right.
So they hooked us up with a roommate, but my roommate wrapped like the first or second day of shooting. So I was for like 3 weeks alone in
a haunted house, probably.
Yeah, with like a quintessential like horror film basement that had like toys from the 50s and like tricycles and all the wagons.
Oh, what?
And that's where my laundry was. So
that's horrifying.
Oh, God. My laundry, high spirits, or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a Supernatural episode waiting to happen.
Right? Yeah. So all of us in our downtime, because believe me, there was more downtime on this set than any other set I've been on. And even Tyler Perry, he shoots like a maniac. He just shoots so fast. But we all were making like our own sort of weird films, or like the found footage kind of horror films in our houses and everything. So
wow,
it was an interesting time. It was a lot of like there's quarantining, and then there's just alone by yourself in a huge house. And that's a little different. So but it was again like Tommy, I was just grateful to work, and they did it perfectly. I mean, like with his studio, he obviously has the resources to be able to house everybody. If it's like Paramount or Universal, they just don't have the space for it.
Got it.
But yeah, and then before that, in early June, I did a Hallmark movie, really small budget, but it was one of the first SAG movies to go back after this. So
makes sense that it was Hallmark.
yeah. It was funny because I wrapped that movie, and then I self-taped for the Tyler Perry thing. And 2 days after I taped it, I get a phone call from Atlanta. I pick up the phone. It's like, "Hi, James, this is Tyler Perry." I'm like, "Hi."
Oh my God! Wow, that's awesome.
And he was like, "I just saw your tape, and I heard that you just wrapped on this other movie that was the first one to come back since COVID. Would you mind telling me about your experience with that. We just wanted to know
Wow,
like,
yeah.
what it was. So
Yeah.
so anyway, it's been weirdly busy couple months compared to most people I know. So yeah, just been sitting around for the past week, not knowing what to do with myself. So
I emailed,
James,
yeah.
James, you got like every Black grandmother's dream call.
No, it's
Like,
just,
call from Tyler Perry.
like if my grandmother would be like, he called. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. What was also kind of great was like I was out of like the 208 people, I was probably maybe like a dozen white people, which was kind of awesome. Just because most of my friends are minorities anyway, but it was just cool to see I guess a non-white production during all this really be like set the bar, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was cool to be involved in that, and got a bunch of soul food. So I'm gonna need to work that off.
Oh, that sounds really
Yeah, I remember when we were shooting Wrapped Up in You, and I remember for the first time even considering eating a maple bacon donut.
Oh my God.
That sounds so
Yeah.
I was
good.
like, I would never eat something like that. And you were like keeping it for the end of the shoot,
Right.
you're like holding it. Like, this is my donut.
I was eyeing
And
that
like,
thing.
as soon as the shoot is over, it was like,
Yep.
You know, so for people who don't know, when you have a food prop like that, the art department will usually try to get at least 10 copies of that food product for the various takes it would probably be used for. So we had like about a dozen of these maple bacon donuts that once that part of filming was done, everybody else kind of dug into, but James took his off to the side and kept it so he could eat it as he left set.
Yep. It's like my towel scene's done.
Oh my God, yeah, you had to start nude. I forgot. So
Yeah. Fun time. A lot of fun
so
time.
fun.
Yeah.
And I thought
these are great things. So I just to follow up on all those things. So as soon as I saw that Tommy had come back from Arkansas, I sent him a message right away. I'm like, tell me how it was. Tell me how it was during COVID. I want to get both of you guys to give me tips, but you know, because we're coming back and we're looking at how we're going to pick up shooting in the fall. And I mean, Los Angeles is closed, and you know, Florida and Louisiana, those are my other locations. I'm like, it's not exactly the best places to go to right now. But yeah, so I'll be touching base with you again for more details.
Please.
Come on.
Yeah. The one thing that was like we were eliminating one problem and kind of causing another, especially in the Hallmark movie, because we shot that in the South as well. But it was in mid-June, and so everybody had the masks on, of course, but most of that shoot was outside. So the crew was like passing out of heat exhaustion, not getting enough oxygen. Wow. So it was like, okay, great, none of us are getting a virus, but we're all getting heat stroke. So it's just something that like we're still learning the process with, and I guess cross-elimination and whatnot with what's best. So you never know.
Yeah, coming up with ideas, everything to keep people safe.
And it's all troubleshooting. You learn as you go and you adjust.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. But that's cool that there are a few productions starting up again. That way also we can now ask you guys for how it went, because we're going to start doing our own pretty soon. And we're hoping to film a couple more Christmas short films, which would be fun. Christmas quickies, if we can. And a lot of people don't know that the
one that we made with you is still hands down my favorite. I just love it.
Hardcore.
It's just the sweetest, nicest one. It's just so magical. All the Christmas lights.
Yep.
I have a good chunk of it on my acting reel, and I get so many compliments on it still. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Super.
That's great.
Yeah. It's like a mixture. It's like right after the movie I did where I was a serial killer. So it's like really mean.
Just diversity, man. Diversity in these roles.
Just the quick clips.
I will say I actually had a couple of friends who watched it when it first came out, and I started getting all these text messages and emails from people who were watching it, and they were all enjoying it, but they all said the same thing, which was they were like, I don't trust this man that you were acting with. Like, I don't trust it. There's this connection. This connection's too good. I don't trust it. Makes me uncomfortable, friend, to watch you be in love with this man. And I was like, all right, everybody, all right, calm down. Just that deep voice he has. Everybody was falling for it.
It's rude. It's a rude deep voice.
It's the wolf in sheep's clothing parts that I always get. Innocent face. Really.
So I thought, well, that leads me to a good spot what your first impressions were of each other when you first met. Because you met the day of filming, right? Or did you meet in person?
So.
We met the day of
filming. I use this as an example all the time of why acting is absurd, because I met James, I think 20 minutes before I had to like fall in love with him while he was fixing the scar on my head. And then like 2 hours after that, we were making out on the street corner, and I was like,
there we go.
That's acting.
Oh, welcome to the film world.
Yeah, you have no time to overthink anything. You're just like, he seems like a great person. This is gonna be a fun day.
Yeah. Cool.
Here we go.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. The chemistry was there. It was great.
It was fun.
I was like, this guy seems like a dork like me. This is gonna work.
Full on dork. I was telling someone about the shop, the book owner, the guy in the bookstore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who actually?
Oh no.
Go ahead.
Oh God. So there's a man in the shop, the bookstore that we were making out outside of, and I don't think he expected there to be two guys making out outside of his window with a camera, and so we just what exactly did he say though?
He was talking on the phone, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we have this book. It's a whoa," and it was just like within 3 feet of him.
So funny.
Yeah, I remember hearing it as we're doing the scene and just trying not to break, because I could just hear him kind of in the back and his reaction to us doing our thing. So.
Oh my God, I love that.
Well, you guys were great. I didn't even know it was happening. I was like, oh, okay, sure, bookstore. And okay, great. Moving on to the next scene. Sounds good.
There we go.
Tosca's in the zone on
yeah.
set.
Yeah. And that was also the first, Lauren, that was the first quickie that you produced as well, right?
It was.
Yes, it was. And I'm not biased at all, but it's also my favorite. Because these guys are just so great, and the set was just so fun. It was 2 days. I hired everyone, so I knew who was coming in, and it just felt like a family pretty fast, which was nice because it was just 2 days that we were filming. And we filmed at the 2 other locations the first day, and then the second day was all in that house location, which I'm pretty sure was your house, T, right? Because it also appears
in my house.
So I love it, and this was also the first LGBTQ story that we had done at PassionFlix, and I wanted to ask you, Tosca, why this was the book that you chose to do that for, and why you wanted to make it when we did.
Well, we wanted, we have a mandate at PassionFlix for us to show stories of all kinds of love. So young, old, every color, every sexuality. And we just want to, show that love is love, and love can be in any form, with zero judgment. And in fact, and not make it about that, not make it about a racial love or a sexuality love or anything like that. Just make it so normal. Basically normalize everything, because it is absolutely normal and beautiful. And so it's really important for us to be able to do it. And this story was that. So it was exciting to do. Initially, when we spoke with Brooke and Ella to do the short film, we had wanted to make it a Christmas short, but then we ran out of time. We couldn't do it, so we asked them to change it to Valentine's Day. So they changed it to Valentine's Day, and then we couldn't get to it, and they published that story. So the book is actually now Valentine's Day as opposed to Christmas. But then when we were able to come back to making it, we turned it back to Christmas. We're like, okay, it's back to Christmas. So it sort of went back and forth. But it was a wonderful opportunity to work with the authors to really create a story that was, and so I really look forward to working with them again and continuing on that.
We should do a follow-up.
Sure.
I told Brooke and Ella this past Christmas, I was like, hey, so where's the sequel? I was like, they've got to be on to kids by now, right? You know, like,
right?
Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah. That's a great idea. Now the flashback is going to be all the way through to the wedding. We'll have to do a little wedding flashback. We'll have to do these other things, and then suddenly it'll be like
Ella and Brooke on this.
Oh my God! Ella, you hear this? We want this story.
Yeah. There you
go.
The next Christmas.
Yeah.
And guys, did you realize kind of the significance of this as we were filming it? Like we might have talked about it being our first, but I don't know if it really hit you guys then that it was the first story like that we were telling, and wondering how you felt on that.
With me, this was my first introduction to PassionFlix family, so I honestly didn't. I was just like, this seems like a really cool opportunity, and I liked the characters, and so I didn't really see like a giant significance of it until I was there and realized it was the first one and the fan base, and I was like, wow, this is really cool to be a part of something new and different within this this production. So that's my
and you know, it's funny, I had just done, I think Driven was my first.
Yeah.
I did Driven, and then I did another movie right after that, and that was the first time I played gay, like on screen. And it had always been something that had scared me, because as a gay man, I was like, well, what if that becomes the limiting thing? Like, what if you play a gay character and then people are only thinking about you in that capacity? And so, you know, between Driven, then I did another movie right after that called Be the Light, and then this came along, and I was like, oh, actually no, like, it's actually really great. And these stories are very complex, and it's very, so as significant as it was for you all, it was also really significant for me, because it was the first time that I was playing this particular story of two men in love and this wonderful sort of thing. And I was like, yes, okay, how terrifying, but yes. And then it kind of opened this door for there to be more of what I want in my career, which is this sort of mixture of things that, you know, that I'm not just one thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
because
awesome.
well, then also like a year later, you were then in A Brother's Honor and playing a straight doctor. So
yes.
Like it doesn't, either way, it doesn't matter.
Now you
yeah, which
a lot of hats.
Yeah, which I said, so in that regard, it was really, really great. And I was actually really nervous that day, but I told someone, I was like, it's funny, I had done like theater and stuff where I'd been gay, and it was always this tricky negotiation, even when my scene partners were gay, of like figuring out, you know, like how things were going to work. And what I thought was really interesting was in working with you, James, is that you were like, he was just like, yeah, no, I've done this a couple of times. Like, this is like, I'm straight, but like, it's just love, right? So I'm just gonna kiss you now. And I was like, oh, we don't have to have like a long conversation about this. We don't have to. I was like, cool, great, thank you. I love that this guy just made me feel more comfortable just being myself, which is the story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Well, one of the things I liked about it too was as you were saying, Tosca, it wasn't. It was just about two people. It wasn't like hammering it over the head too much with just like the gay factor or whatnot. It was just, this is a story, nice story about two people in love that's just all about the feels, and it wasn't trying to be anything,
Be anything other.
else. And I love that. I love just simplicity and just like the genuine nature of the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it was a beautiful wedding proposal.
Oh God, don't even.
Yeah. This Vaughn,
So
like I kept joking with Tommy. I was like, there is no way in hell, like me, James, this guy set the bar so high.
It was a very good wedding proposal.
So good.
Very good.
Man, like if it was me, I'd just be like, look at the scoreboard, honey, or whatever. So
Oh my God.
And I will tell you, I still have, and it's one of my favorite things. I take it everywhere with me. I still have my bathrobe, which is like just the
those were great
thing.
bathrobes.
I still have the slippers.
Yeah. It's so cute. Our Jacob, our costume designer, came up to me and he was like, so I flat out bought these but they've worn them, so I really would love to just gift them to them. And I was like, yes, throw them at them. Let them have a souvenir.
Yeah.
It was so great that you guys got to keep those.
They were the most comfortable robes, right? I mean, they just
I think they were UGG. It was really not fair that they were just UGG brands. They were.
Yeah, I was just doing this all day. I was like, wow, this is great.
And they looked great on camera too. So
yeah,
all around good products.
Oh my God. No, you guys totally nailed it. And another fun fact a little bit about James's acting is that Tommy actually had to leave early that second day of filming.
Oh, yes.
So there is an entire scene, and it might take you out of it, there's an entire scene where he's sitting kind of across from him on the couch for, I think, the photograph part of the gift exchange, and James is acting to a dot on the TV because Tommy left and he's like, I don't need to stand in, but can you just put like a dot there that I can stare at? And then full acting face. And I'm just like, how is he doing this? He's acting to a goddamn dot on the screen. This is very impressive.
Well, Tommy had to go and do a play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. My gosh.
It's not.
Look, he didn't even need me.
Years ago, guys.
We had a good excuse. But James, tell us about that experience.
Oh, well, it was hilarious because like at first it was one of the
Fernando, my production manager, who also like kind of fell in love with you during filming, so I think he just didn't want to make eye contact with you.
Wait, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, because
he's fine.
Because in that how we started it was I was just like, I just put somebody in there, and so we put Fernando in there, and he was so uncomfortable to the point where like I was like, just give me a piece of tape. Because this guy is just.
I got nervous.
He was like sweating and like, I'm like, dude, like just don't even have to look at me. Just be a silhouette of a person. and then it was just like, yeah, just put a piece of tape there. And I've been looking at Tommy for 48 hours. I can picture his face. So
it worked out.
But that is a pretty intense position to be in. So just working with you two, work with so many actors when we do these close, intense, emoting scenes where like you dedicating yourself and you're proclaiming your love for this person. And so when you're the actors and the director, and you're like, oh, okay, that's how it's gonna work, and we're so close and we're in it. But then if you replace that with somebody else, and you're standing, if I was not aware of it and I was standing in front of you, James, or in front of you, Tommy, when you declared your love, you guys are so genuine that you're just sitting there going, are you really declaring this up to me? I'm like, is this fake or is this real? I'm so confused. And you become so awkward because they're not actors. So actors, you're like, I love you. And like humans are out there going, does he mean that? I'm very uncomfortable. Does he mean that he loves me?
Yeah.
So that's a testament to your acting.
Thank you. I remember after the proposal scene, like looking over and seeing like all the women just crying. And I'm just like, do you want us to like pacing wise, like to meet the mark? And you're like, oh, it's good.
No,
So good.
I think the entirety of filming, my face was just like this the entire time. The entire time. Anytime you looked at me, I was like, they're so cute.
So
Yes,
great.
so beautiful. Do you guys have any other like fun memories from set of different instances?
You know what's funny is that's and we're still like buds. They come to everything I do, and I love them for it. But Darlene and Bill were there that day.
We're founding
Founding members.
Yeah.
Founding
The
members,
best.
and we had such a blast. And they've been like every play I've done since then. I think right after that, I did Beauty and the Beast in Laguna, Laguna Beach, right after that, and they drove down and saw it. Like they saw the musical I did in February. I'm like, it's just. So they're also a fond part of that experience for me. I was just like, oh wow, like
Disneyland.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right? Yeah. They're like, we got passes at Disneyland. Come down. And I'm like, sure. So
You went to Disneyland with them?
yeah, they gave me the passes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Darlene and Bill just pulling out all the stops.
Right?
No.
Because
I wasn't invited to Disneyland.
I know.
Yeah. Maybe next.
This was a small set.
Maybe, Allie. Maybe you and I could go, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just talk to him about it. I don't know. I was just talking to him. We're going to Disney.
This was a very small set in comparison to some of the big features we do, where we have like lots of extras in different locations, where I only really needed one person to be background the whole time, and then we actually put a couple of crew in the audience. I think I was next to you guys at one point in the theater, but then Dennis made me move so my face was off screen. And I'm like, fine, Dennis, that's fair, just have my shoulder. But Darlene and Bill were available, so she brought him down, and it was the first time he was interacting with any of this world, and he had a great time, which was really funny.
Great.
Yeah.
They were awesome. So yeah, she's the girl, the popcorn girl. Thank you, Darlene.
Yeah.
And James, that was your first interaction with just like a smidge of our fans.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You enjoyed them.
After it came out, I met a lot of them online.
Yeah. we love their dedication. They're so awesome.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah. And so supportive. And
I will tell you, they are wonderful. And I was telling James when he first came in, and I was telling the guys when we were doing A Brother's Honor, I was like, just understand that like you've maybe never felt love coming at you this way that wasn't like a relative, you know, but like they are going to love you forever. They are going to follow you to wherever you go next from here. Like it's just a wonderfully supportive group. And every time they find out I'm doing something with you all, I think they're more excited than I am. And I think it's just,
they were like, Thomas could be in A Brother's Honor? Yes. You know.
Yeah, I remember walking around and like I said, the three, and they're such great guys, and we were having a good time down in Florida, but they were like, why is everyone knows you? What's going on? And I was like, listen.
This isn't my first rodeo.
Listen, this isn't my first Passion Flicks rodeo. These ladies and I go way back.
Yeah.
Funny.
Well, James is going to have to be in another Passion Flicks movie, so this is where I get you on the spot, James. If I ask you, if I make that call,
I mean,
you answer like you answered Tyler Perry's call.
I mean, well, you answer, yeah, exactly. I'm not Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Fine, my name does.
I would be honored. That would be great. I would yeah. I was sad to go because I felt like I made so many friends so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, wow, like that was really awesome and friendly. And so, yeah, just say when and where. And I'm a man, or Tommy's man.
Yeah. I remember.
You're allowed to be other people's man as well. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will share you.
That's for another story.
Tommy, I don't know if me sharing this will get you into any trouble or put you on the spot, but there was definitely a moment on set where you came over to me and you were like, I feel like I'm having an emotional affair. Like, I just don't understand how great the guy is. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, it was really great. And I think that people picked up on that when they watched it, which was that I was like, wow, like, I feel very safe, which is allowing me to like go deeper into this space. Because I really loved the script when you sent it to me. I think I read it immediately and was like, whatever, pick a role, I'll do it.
We were still in London when I sent you the script, and
yeah, you were.
I mean,
yeah. I was like, and the only concern I had was just like, who is this person, and are we going to be able to, you know? And I was like, James has a way and we're just going to talk about him like he's not in one of these squares.
Not
He has a way, as we've mentioned earlier, as Tosca mentioned, like he has a way of looking at you that just makes you feel very seen. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is going to be a fun. I joked about it for like a couple weeks after that too. I was telling I came home and I was telling my partner, I was like, listen, I said it was lovely. He gave me a wonderful Christmas. I don't know if you know the kind of Christmas he gave me, but I think you need to make sure your Christmas gifts are stepped up because, you know, I think we jokingly said he stopped short of giving me a car because one of my friends said that at the end of the movie, he's like, I almost expected him to drive up in like some luxury vehicle as well.
That's your Lexus, honey. Big bow and everything.
Big bow on it. Just turn it into a Lexus commercial.
Yep.
Yeah, no. So I'm not embarrassed by that. I'm sure. It was like I said, it was just really, really great. And I have had to manufacture on both ends of the spectrum now. I've had to manufacture emotion for people that I'm supposed to be in love with, and it's so much easier when you're just like, oh, I kind of adore you as a human, and this is much easier this way.
Well, we like, you're also very easy to connect with and talk to, and I feel like we were just like joking around and goofing off the whole time, and that just made it that much more natural, and it just worked. So like Tommy mentioned, the chemistry was just there, and he's super easy to work with, and I just kind of treated him as a cool guy, and that's like the way to go about it. So
yeah. Well, what I say this often when it comes to any chemistry on set, because there has to be chemistry not only between the actors but also with the directors. You have to like really get along. You have to be able to communicate and feel safe and supported. But and so then I always talk about, and I talk about this with Margie, who's our editor, and we just have to feel, you have to like fall a little bit in love with all of the characters. So if you're able to, as the director, fall in love with each of the characters, just a little bit in love with each one of them, then suddenly, you know, for me, it all comes together. So I just love it when everybody else sort of feels the same way. You just have to be a little bit in love with everyone. Like,
I will say you all do a great job of that, because I mean, even with like Driven, Olivia is one of my friends. We check in all the time. Like our on-screen friendship became a real friendship, and then little Christian, I see him all the time.
You just did a movie too.
No, we just did a Christmas movie together in January that his mom, that Rebecca wrote. You know, and I'm just like, it's just this little community that you've created, and you've chosen such, in my experience, such great people that I'm actually like still in touch with most of the people I've met through you, which is, I think, a testament to the community you've created and the people you bring into that community.
Yeah, for sure. Tosca creates this very cool world to live in with all the love at PassionFlix and stuff, and the families we build on set. So thank you, T. It's awesome.
Yeah. It was also
my genuine pleasure.
Oh yeah, it was also great working with Daniel Day-Lewis as well. So that was
oh my god! I was like, what do you mean? Oh, his hardcore James. I took the standee. Like
we did.
I did. It's in my closet up here.
Yes.
In the background. I should have put him in the background.
Oh, that's so funny.
Hey, Tommy. So you know, you were just saying how great it was to work with Olivia and how we are all so close.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say something.
Oh my God!
James, this is Olivia.
Hi, James. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. Wow. Heard a lot about
Hi,
you.
gorgeous. Oh my God! This is what I mean. I just said your name because I like you. I didn't even know it was like product placement. You were there. What?
Just texting her to come back and meet. They're in Montana.
That's so fantastic. Hi.
Yeah, she was on a road trip, and we were just messaging. I was like, I'm in Montana. She's like, I'm coming to Montana. I was like, come and stay. And so her and Angel are here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so great. Hi.
Yeah.
I miss our little coffees. I miss our little coffee days.
No, we would get coffees. I don't know, probably every couple months in LA.
Yeah.
So lovely.
Sounds like we all need to take
again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we
I'm
all
saying, yeah.
go to Tosca's compound in Montana.
Right?
Yeah. No, I'm not feeling the need to come back to LA anytime soon.
We were both like, are we gonna stay here?
I think that's good.
Yeah.
We'll just start working here. I bought a drone and we have a camera. We just need sound equipment and we can just start shooting here on this
Montana can
ranch.
pass for LA.
Oh,
I mean, look,
Easy.
same blue skies.
Exactly.
just,
In the
just
map.
green screen.
It's
Just green
almost
screen.
the same.
Oh, incredible! I'm so glad we surprised him. That's insane. We didn't tell him that you had said hi before, Olivia.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Bye, darling.
So good to see you.
Good to see you. That's so awesome.
She's baking an apple cobbler
What?
for
God.
dinner to have with wine. This is like going to be. I'm
Rub
so
it in.
excited she can use it anytime.
Just rub it in.
Listen, I'm just taking notes. I didn't know she made apple cobbler. That's my favorite. So just taking notes.
That's awesome.
Who else you got back there?
Hey, well, you were talking about how Tyler Perry has his compound. I'm like, I just got this, like, no one's in Montana. And
Oh yeah?
like, I'm on 1,800 acres with some grizzly bears and mountain lions. So if anybody even tries to come close to us, they get eaten.
Yep.
And so, and there's just nothing else here. And so I was like, okay, so we're pretty safe here in the middle of nowhere. But now I'm like, hey, I feel like we should do something. And I got this drone and I have my camera and Olivia and Angel are here and Angel's also an actor. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, maybe we can shoot a short film.
Oh, shit, are you spoiling something?
Well, and
So I think we might.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
talk about a Christmas movie. You're gonna experience a lot of snow. The coming.
Yeah, I'm not staying that long. Not staying that long.
No, we had a meeting with Kristen Proby, one of our other authors, and when we sat down with her in person, she mentioned that it's like only daylight 4 hours a day, basically during the winter in Montana, or some crazy.
Oh
stuff like that.
no.
So
Can't do that. No.
Yeah.
probably not staying for the winter.
But right now, it's light at 5 o'clock in the morning and dark at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The sunset
Wow.
was
Really long
it's
day.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
my
good for
kids
you.
are refusing to go to sleep at any reasonable hour because they're like, it's still daylight.
Right.
It's 10:30.
10:30. I thought I would ask just a couple fun, not fun questions, well, they're kind of fun questions, a couple fun questions, and then a couple of questions from our founding members, and then we can kind of wrap it up. But I thought I would ask both of you, what did you learn about yourselves while filming this short film, and what did you learn from each other, if anything? I know it was a short set, but sometimes it hits you in different ways. And
I learned that it was just how crazy Tommy's puppy dog eyes are. Because like 90% of the thing was just me just saying all these nice things to him, and I just remember thinking like, wow, like I don't even have to act. I just have to look into this man's eyes and it just comes out. That's the way it was written. So,
Yeah.
They're a gift, my friend, just like my creepy voice.
No one ever said creepy.
How
No one
dare
ever said creepy. I learned a
voice.
couple of I learned a couple of things on this which were really, really helpful. Which is funny because in the movie I just finished, one of the things that Phil Morris, who played my uncle in the film, and we get along until we don't in the movie, but one of the things that we discussed was that connectivity. And speaking of eyes and connection, like we've talked about all interview, like there are those moments when you really understand how special it is to connect with people. And I think that like beyond just being in this, that like I loved so much how people enjoyed watching it because of the connection these two people had, and that connection can be confused when people watch it for like, these two ran off after this and like live in Montana next door to Tosca, and they're happily ever after. But in reality, it's just like the connection you can get from humans when you just like listen, you know. And I think that is sort of, not to be too, you know, but it's something that I think we're lacking a lot right now. It's just like connection and listening. And that was, as an actor, great, as a human, really great. And also I think that like as I said to Tosca, I think when I was there, that like Driven was so fast for me. Like I came in, I had 3 long days, and then I was gone. And then to come back in this capacity, I was like, oh, I'm actually getting to like know these people who I thought seemed really awesome. And I didn't know if I'd ever see them again. All of a sudden I'm sitting with Lauren, I'm sitting with Tosca again. And I was like, oh, I really, really like you all. And I think I said then, and I've repeated it many times since then, like, just, you know, if you got, just, I love this family. I love what it stands for. I love what you've created. And I'm always, you know, I told my reps, I was like, just if they call, just let me know. And if the schedule's open, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
I second that.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I love you guys. It's such a wonderful family that we have here. So I appreciate all of you guys being part of it. Just makes it just a joy, especially because we make such wonderful, loving, touching stories, and it's all so positive. So I think we need more positivity in the world.
We do. And you've converted me, because I watched in Arkansas, I watched Gabriel's Inferno. And then yesterday I watched part 2. I've seen all the PassionFlix movies now. And I'm also now, which I had not done before, I'm also now reading romance novels. So I'm reading Ella Frank's new series right now, with the prime time and the Inside Affair, the news broadcast.
She's gonna lose her mind. Yeah.
I just, the second book, just because I don't have a Kindle, because I'm apparently 109 years old. So I just got my physical copy of part 2. And I was like, I was like, let me just see if I can understand what the big deal is. And I was like, oh God, oh God, it's so
exactly.
just so steamy.
I read a couple more shorts of theirs. Their agent sent me a couple of more shorts, but they're like 100-page short stories, or like not like novellas, not full novels. And I'm like, oh man, these are really good, but they're too long for quickies. So I gotta figure out something else to do with these. They're just, they write really good romance. I like.
Yeah, we'll have to do a feature of theirs soon, though. I think you just have to put it on the stage and find the best one for us to do. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm so glad that you watched Gabriel's Inferno 1 and 2. Good for you. That's
did.
Amazing. And that makes me feel like I can ask UT a really quick founding member question we had, and then I have a couple for the boys. But one founding member question we got from Julie was, how many takes did the towel scene take? The purple towel.
Hang on, the purple towel scene in Gabriel's Inferno, or the towel scene with James?
Both.
That's a good question. Gotta love towel scenes.
Listen, kind of like towel scenes. Well, I think the one with James, we did yours pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, you were just like standing at the bathroom. You're like, ta-da.
Yeah.
And I think it was pinned with a safety pin, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. And I still got the whitey tidies I was given too. No.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That didn't happen in Gabriel's Inferno.
Raffle them off.
Yeah, Gabriel's Inferno, he had nothing underneath, and he had to whip the towel off. So a little different. And that scene with Julio, that scene, 2 takes.
2 takes. Okay. All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
Which take?
Very limited time on these movies. It's not like we're like, oh, I don't know if I like. Was the towel low enough on your waist, James? Not sure. Do it again. Let's try this angle. This time, like, no, man, we're shooting. Like, that looked good. That's great. Hey, we'll go wider. Now we're going closer. Now you have to move here, and hey, let's pretend the camera's on this side, but it's actually over here, and changing the eye lines, and it's complicated.
That's what I'll say about you as well, Tosca, is you're a director who knows what she wants, and that is just great for everybody involved. So you're very, very actor-friendly director, and you know what you want, and you're open to suggestions, and that pretty much checks off all the boxes of who I want to work with. So
thank you.
That's awesome.
This is great. I love this podcast.
And I was like, it hit me one day. I was like, why haven't we asked Tommy and James yet? Because I love them and I need to see their faces again. So I'm really glad. I emailed them last week and they were like, let me check my busy COVID schedule. No, I think I'm free. It was great.
Yeah. So much.
So
awesome.
Be the busiest out of everyone.
I know. This is
Yeah.
You guys have been all over the place.
Yeah.
And a quick founding member question for you, Tommy. Carrie says, for Tommy, my 2 daughters were crazy huge fans of FBB for years. We saw every episode many times, literally on our TV multiple hours a day, and we went to 2 concerts. Yes, we have several t-shirts with your face on them. You were always my favorite, by the way. Has it been hard to transition getting roles acting as an adult, or what has been the biggest challenge of for kids' content?
Ooh. First of all, thank you. The ride of that show was amazing, and the amazing thing about it is that while I was in the machine, I had no idea the impact it was having, and now 5 or 6 years removed from it, I'm still appreciative for it. I got an email yesterday from an 18 or 19-year-old who was just like, as a queer kid, he didn't know when he was watching the show, but like as an adult and sort of seeing the way that I live my life and the pride I take in existing, that it's been very comforting for him. And I'm like, that's awesome. I will say that I overestimated how easy the transition would be. I was very optimistic, and I was just like, I've been on a show, 60 episodes, done 304 concerts. I was a cartoon as well. People were like, this guy works, let's do this. And then the next year of my life was just me just being like, hi, I know how to act. and it had never really occurred to me that like people would think that was me, or that like there was no thought or process put into it because it was a kid show. With casting directors, they either knew the show or they had no idea. And if they knew the show, then you had to hope that their experience of it was good. And so yeah, it's been a lot of rebranding, like a lot. I see people now on the streets like, oh, the beard. I'm like, the beard was part of the rebrand. Like I literally had to like become an adult, I had to. And I think that the great thing about the last year and a half of my life, especially the last couple of months, is that I jokingly said on set that this is the most adult I've ever felt. And so I appreciate the question, because I wasn't very vocal initially about the struggle, because I was still doing well, better than a lot of my friends were doing. And so I felt guilty about my lack of, that I wanted more. I thought it was wrong that I wanted more. And now I realize that's okay. It's okay. That like, yeah. And then I had to earn it. I had to earn the adulthood, and I had to hear a lot of people say, oh, wow, you're good. Thank you. I've been doing this a long time. I went to college for it, a very good school that's got a great theater program. I started acting when I was 6 years old. Like I do know what I'm doing. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that's the not so short answer, but yeah, it has not been easy. But I think that the best things are worth fighting for. So
totally.
Both suffer from the baby face syndrome.
Yeah.
Baby face syndrome. As I said, this man back in the pre-COVID days, I was on the subway downtown LA, and this older Black gentleman looked at me and he said, "You ain't fooling me, that beard. What are you, 28?" And I was like,
28.
Why are you so mad? He's like, all you young kids growing these beards trying to look like old men. I was like, I'm trying to book a job as a guy who's in his 30s, because that's what I am, okay?
Oh yeah, my God.
I've looked like a frat boy for the past 15 years of my life.
Works for you. It's hilarious. I deal with, as everybody, many of you guys know, that I deal with men's facial hair so much on all these PassionFlix movies. Everything is about men's hair. I spend so much time on their hair, their facial hair, the length it's supposed to be, how many times is he shaving, what time we're shaving. We schedule the shaving sessions over the week to make sure that the facial hair looks exactly right, and then like fixing their hair constantly, and like constantly walking up to male actors. James, you'll experience more of this on on features, but I'm like, I literally come up and like, touch your hair. I'm just gonna, okay. all right, you can go. And yet the women are just like, their hair's like always in these perfect curls. You're like, just done. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with men's hair.
Just do it for the role, and you can do what you want, like eat a donut.
Yes. Get it done and then
Exactly.
gorge
A
yourself.
maple bacon donut.
Yep.
And
Guilty.
then one last founding member question was, if you could play any lead in a movie, what would it be and why?
Man.
For both of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Play a lead in any movie, what would it be and why? Yeah.
Ooh, James, you can go first.
Like any movie that's already existed, or
Yeah, it
just,
can be any movie in the world that's already existed.
Or tell me the kind of character that you want to play.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
oh man, that's a tough one. I like
On the spot, go.
I do kind of like character acting in a sense, whether it's like a bad guy or not. Like I love kind of like Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future. Just like whoa,
Oh yeah.
crazy, like
Right.
over the top, or like the Jack Sparrow and stuff like that, where there's just I love
Okay.
I love things that give you room to play,
Nice.
and that's why I think a lot of the times I'll get bad guy roles, because all I'm doing is just having fun and playing with it, and they're like, oh wow, that's really good, like you really like went into that side. I'm like, I was just being a doofus, just trying to just make it fun. So yeah, I know that's kind of a vague answer, but yeah, just one of those like character actors that we've all fallen in love with. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
How are you?
And I have always, it feels so cliche, but it's just true. I've always wanted to be James Bond. I've just always wanted to be like in a perfectly like tailored suit, kicking ass. Those have always been the movies that I was drawn to.
Nice.
Like,
Well,
what'd you-
now we have to find a new book, Lauren, where
the
Tommy
badass
plays
spy,
James
okay.
Bond character and James plays the villain.
There we go.
there you go. There you go.
Completely different
like
from the
this.
first movie they were in together. It's now
There you
enemy in
go.
the
Exactly.
Nemesis. That's amazing.
So where's that
Sounds
one?
amazing.
All right, if you guys have any fun spy romances that you've read before, please send me some deets. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know what it is. My whole life, I've just loved a good, like, one of the initial things that made me really sad when I didn't realize how long this was going to go on was when they pushed the new James Bond release date, and I was like, I had just gone on to get my like pre-sale ticket, and I was like,
no.
Okay,
That's so
you know. I think also I've always been obsessed with the things that traditionally I'm not supposed to have. You know, that always becomes like the focal point for me, is like that is a role that traditionally, and a space traditionally that is not occupied by people that look like me. And I think that like for people that look like me, I'm always, especially now as a grown up, part of my mission for me is I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm providing a space for kids that look like me to have someone that looks like them in that space. Because when I was a kid looking up at, you know, the superheroes and the spies and all those fun, cool things you wanted to do, they didn't look like me. So I just kept imagining a world where they did, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way about running a film studio and being
Yes.
and having so many women and focusing on making female-driven content, which has always been the biggest issue with so many others out there. And it's always getting permission from the man in order for us to do it. So I'm very, very grateful to be in this position and continue to grow.
Yeah, and what you do really well, which I tell people all the time, is that there is a respect that you all have for what you're making. And so, you know, whether you are a fan of romance books or not, when you're coming to this space and you're watching movies made by people who love what they're doing. And so it's not pandering to anything. It's not talking down to anyone. They're movies about love, made with love.
Yes.
That's so true.
I will have to say, after this too, after Wrapped Up in You, I can't tell you how many like Hallmark and Lifetime movies I've done where I'm like that, like perfect guy. So it's been like, wow, that really like ushered in a whole new genre for me. So, so thank you.
Yeah, I remember
I'm very glad.
before you came on board to work with us, I was like worried about being a little bit starstruck because I was a big Agent Carter fan at the time.
Oh yeah,
Carter.
Oh,
yeah, I was.
Cool.
Oh, I'm so glad I never told you in the moment because that's sometimes
no, you didn't.
That
was one of my favorite shows I've done. It was so
cool. Super cool. So I'm glad that after ours you also went on to do other stuff like more stuff like ours as well. That's fun. You were great on Agent Carter. I was like, he was on Agent Carter. Oh yeah, then he's fine. He's gonna be great.
I got sent like just about like a little over a year ago the original comic book of my character
oh wow.
Oh, how cool.
That is amazing. And then I looked it up and it was like $1,100. This person spent $1,100 to send me a comic book and I'm like, that is really cool. So
that is really cool. I think Ella and Brooke sent you guys each one of these as well.
Got it right here.
Yes.
Tosca's is in her office, but I know like
mine is upstairs.
They sent the book copy and little notes. I love them so much. They're so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. This is very sweet.
I love working from hard copy, like I love adapting things. So it's fun to see the original work that you're kind of you act from or that you work from. It's cool. So that's so awesome they sent you the comic.
Yeah. It was very nice of them and just happy that they approved of us. That's half the battle too.
That's half the battle for sure. Is
every time
into it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Those are all the questions I have, and so it was so wonderful to see you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, great to see you. I can't wait to see you in real life and give you hugs post pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Post pandemic.
A lot of acting
just
around.
hugs. Yeah.
Yes.
So weird not hugging people.
I love hugging people. It's been so strange.
It's been so strange.
Yeah. So we'll see you post-pandemic for a hug and a movie. And Lauren, it's up to you now to find this James Bond movie with a villain. But I need this villain to have a heart at the end. I need I need him to maybe like fall in love with somebody. Maybe he falls in love with James Bond's sister or something.
All right.
And I'm coming up with ideas. Come on, authors, help me out.
Yeah, and then we can make out in front of an old bookstore in Silver Lake again.
They're really confused, the book owner.
For us. That will be great. Oh my God, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us.
Love you. Good to see you guys.
Wonderful seeing you.
Hey, you tell Olivia I expect an apple cobbler next time I see her. I want an apple cobbler.
I'm taking a picture of it tonight and sending it to you.
Yes.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Awesome. Oh, I love them.
So great.
They're so great. And Tosca, I actually have something really quick that I wanted to read you from a fan that I forgot to do before. So before we say goodbye, I want to read you this really sweet email that came in. So basically this woman emailed asking where she can leave a review for Gabriel's Part 2 because she really enjoyed it. And I mentioned Amazon, IMDb, kind of any of the major online sites that's best for reviews. And she was like, great. And then she saw my signature, which was signing off, yes, Lauren. And she was like, are you the Lauren I see on the podcast? Oh my gosh, which was cute. But then she went on to say, I want to tell you a story about how I found you guys. And she recently retired after 31 years of working in like the corporate world. And during quarantine, her thing to do has been learning how to teaching herself how to line dance using YouTube videos.
So awesome.
So awesome. So she's line dancing to YouTube videos. And I think one of our trailers for Gabriel's Inferno popped up right after a video or something like that, where it was like the next thing played or it just appeared to her. And she was like, what is this? I need to watch this. And so she is now fully obsessed with Gabriel's Inferno. She's listened to the first 2 books. She's watched parts 1 and 2 of Gabriel's Inferno for us. She's a member now, a subscriber. So she just wanted to say that she's like obsessed now with this and is really thankful to have found us. What did she say? She said, please know that you and the rest of PassionFlix team have done an outstanding job of bringing these stories to life, connecting the readers with the actors, and keeping everyone very well informed. Your passion for what you do comes through, and it's so refreshing to see. Kudos to all of you, because she also watches all of our podcasts as well. So Doria, thank you for sending this note. It was really lovely. So I thought that'd be a nice little thing to end on, is that we love our fans as well, and we just love this community. Yeah.
And Tosca has something. We have something coming out on Friday.
Yeah, Tosca, do you want to spoil it for us?
On Friday, we have finally the behind the scenes from Dirty Sexy Saints. Woo! One of the most fun shoots I've ever been on with David Gregory and Jordan Lane Price. And I love those guys so much. And it was one of the most fun shoots. And I can't believe it was only 1 year ago that we were making that movie. A lot has happened. So enjoy that for Friday.
That's going to be so great, and fans are going to love it. Wonderful. Awesome. And I love you both, and thank you for another great podcast. If anybody has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or comment on any of our social media, and we will try to get back to you. And tune in next week for something else as well.
Thank you.